Yeah, speaking of the plate, it's right around the corner. So is August, and so is some great insights from colleague Elisa Blow. Jeff Brett with you here on the set of Woodbine Racing Live. Woodbine's media office sent out a probable field for the plate. We'll recap that for you tomorrow, but sounds like we're going to have some strong American riders represented here at Woodbine that day.
Lots of American riders coming up for the plate. I got my outfit yesterday.
Did you?
Fuchsia. I'm wearing fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
It worked for me on Sunday, so I want it to work for me on plate day too. So
I'm trying to figure out what to go.
You got to have a tie with a little bright pink in it.
Yeah. I'll come up with something for sure. I'll tell you who has a little bit of balance in his step right now is one Jose Campos off the big Sunday he had. He won 3 on the program. Omar Moreno gets a double on the card.
Good for him.
And you know what was nice too is we saw some smaller outfits in the stakes winners enclosure too.
We did, and the biggest one, at least for me, that made me the happiest was seeing Bev Chubb in the winner's circle with Juan Crawford and Dark Screen, because they have had so much bad racing luck just with that horse. Like this horse could have had 2 or 3 stakes wins, right? But it was just tricky positioning that they got themselves in, and they finally broke through with a great win.
So producer Mike, he went to Las Vegas for the weekend, I'm told. Yep. He's a VIP in the high roller suite.
Okay.
And because of that, we're going to get him caught up on the races that he missed and the races you might have missed as well. When it comes to Dark Stream, we'll look back at the Lake Superior, and that was kind of the theme in the Heritage Series races. Horse that had troubled trips have finally got clean trips in both races.
That's true, and the other thing too from the Heritage Series that's important is that they have siblings that are going to be selling in this year's upcoming CPH sales. So, for example, Dark Screen has a full sibling, can't remember, I think it's a full brother, and it's a really early hit, like I think it's hit 6. But yeah, Bev had said after the race was over that definitely they would go looking at that one. But yeah, this was a beautiful win, and I was not aware that this was Juan Crawford's very first stake win ever at Woodbine.
Yeah, he's won some cup races down at Fort Erie, and beautiful horse, as you can see right there, and able to pull off the victory, and does so as a bit of an upsetter. Then we get to the Thunder Bay, and I don't know about Sweet Passions, man. Every time that she runs, she finds trouble. Even when she wins, like she did in the Thunder Bay, guess what? She found trouble.
Exactly. But you know what? A couple of things here. Number one, this was a top selection from our Woodbine TV prod.
That's
who
right.
was a perfect 2 for 2 on Saturday and Sunday with the picks that they brought along. But this was also the first stakes win for conditioner Rick Hayashi. Obviously, he's been working for Paul Buttigieg for a very, very long time. But this was the first one that he got under his name, and it was an emotional win for him.
Absolutely. You know, he was very, very emotional, and such a cool ride from Ryan, too. I love when he even ran after the race. I'm like, were you nervous? And Mike goes, oh, no, these types of horses, you know, it's just, it's going to work out that way. He's just such a cool customer. Great finish right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses within a length. Then we get to the Pink Lloyd Stakes, and surprise, surprise, you called this all day long. It was the John Ross Exacta, but maybe not the way you expected it to go.
I thought Junior Hotshot would be It's Time to Shine. And right here, I thought, okay, Junior Hotshot, he's going to get up to get this win, but no. You know, Jose Campos was coming in off of a couple of nice wins, and I think too, like, you know, his confidence level had to be super, super high as well, but he rode that one very confidently. He did say in the winner's circle he heard, you know, Rafi coming up, but he just knew he was on the better horse that day. But geez, John Ross has such a nice 1-2 punch. No matter what, these horses are going to race against each other on numerous occasions this season. And he's got one that likes to go to the front, one that likes to come from off the pace, and there you go. I mean, John was pleased with both of them.
There's a half of Junior Hotshot racing this week, right?
No, there is a full to Junior half. There's a full to Junior Hotshot on the Saturday program, I want to say, and of course there's a relative to It's Time to Shine, I believe, going through the sale as well.
You know what? I went out with the breeder for dinner the other day with It's Time to Shine. She just wins a stake race, and I picked up the tab.
What? Well, you're such a nice guy, Jeff.
Well, it was kind of her birthday.
Was it the drive-thru?
No, it was her birthday. Yeah, it was drive-thru. Yeah, the Dairy Queen drive-thru. Yeah. Happy birthday!
You know what else I'm really, you know, it was just got here and was like, we're on the grass. Where I live, it absolutely poured, finally. Absolutely poured. And even our producer, Mike, he was saying the same thing. Like, he was expecting the text to come through saying we're off the turf, but you didn't get any here.
I'm out east from here, but it threatened, but we never got anything.
Wow. In Niagara, like last night after we rode, you know, we sit around and, you know, talk shop. And all of a sudden,
Diet
Pepsis, yeah. And all of a sudden, this big cold breeze came in, and it really started to pick up steam and blow things around, and we knew we were in for something. And you know who's happiest is the guy who mows my lawn, because he never had to mow it once in July, and he's been praying for rain, so it finally came.
No, well, you got it. You got it. Now, can you beat the favorite coming up in the first race of the day? You're going to try and beat Indy 1, who right now is even money. You're going to go towards the other Trexler horse in this spot, and this is Silent Threat. So, I remember the race. The horse loomed into contention. It might have been 2 or 3 starts going to look like was going to have a big impact and kind of flattened out a little bit late.
You mean on Secret Threat?
Yeah. Is it the drop that you like? Do you think there's some pace to run at in here as well?
Well, there's actually some pretty good references when you look at Secret Threat, because Secret Threat has raced against some tough ones. Gilt Edge, who's been a very nice horse this season. How about It's Time to Shine being a reference for this horse as well? He was 5th to him and Summer Commander, and Summer Commander happened to break through with a nice win on the Sunday program as well for Stu Simon. So, you know, this drop down in for $25,000 with the regular rider sticking and staying interests me over Indy 1. And the reason I'm not sure about Indy 1 here today is simply it's because we've never really seen this horse. We've never seen this horse on the grass. There's not a ton of grass pedigree here. We know the horse, you know, should actually be a perfect 3 for 3, because I really thought this horse was geared up to win for opening day, but ended up finishing in 3rd. Came back to win for 10. You know, attracted the claim for $25,000. And you know what's interesting? They've waited the 30 days to bring this horse back as well. A lot of trainers, you know, we see barns like this that opt to do that, to wait the 30 days. But on a horse like this, I think he'd be worth trying. I mean, just he's had some really good efforts, but they're going to bring him back off some time.
You know what, though, Lisa? I think the temptation is to wait to get the non-3, and maybe it wasn't going.
Maybe, but the works are all good there too.
Yeah,
you know?
And the mare has produced Dolce Suppresso with stakes placed on the grass. I'm with you on the Seattle Serenades. I don't love them, but here's a horse that I'm hoping can just keep the roll going more than anything. But you know what? There's another real speed horse on the far outside. Frack Right is probably going to show some blazing speed in there too.
Oh, Richard Morton, one of our favorite barns to try to catch.
He got us the other day with Chamateur.
I know. We had Conacher.
But now, as it turns out, we didn't get the pick 4 anyways.
No. But still, we like to bring that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Race 3 on the inside course, going 7.5 furlongs in here. I have an idea at odds of 5 to 2. I am not picking I have an idea. I'm going elsewhere. I think you and I are on the same page. Now, if you're not familiar with Andrew Smith, I think is a very underrated trainer.
Yeah, has some great horses.
We saw him in the paddock for about a month looking at horses, and he finally dropped the claim slipping on this one.
Finally found one he liked, and he liked this one for Mike Doyle for $7,500, named Candace, and he came back and bar back for 15 to face Non-2 and gets Cavay Nichols aboard. And who does she happen to hook that day? A monster in logistics who was taking the drop in for $15,000, and now we find her here today in for the $15,000 price tag, where she gets to be the big dog, I think. I mean, I am concerned slightly with the 3-horse Magic Token. This horse was lucky to stay up. Remember that? Because I'll tell you what, it's not very often you see a trainer just send the horse back to the barn, and that's what conditioner Nathan Squires did. He thought he was coming down. They didn't even get their picture taken with that horse, but he stays up, and Salas will get the call again. I just think Candid Candace off of that effort. It's a good closing effort. She's looks like she's got no problems tackling a longer distance. We've seen her on the grass before and on the inner turf, and those were in against much tougher company. You know, horses like Little Teddy, horses like Hurricane Claire. So she was racing against much tougher in the past. $15,000 should help her find her way into the winner's circle.
Lane 2 for both turf courses here today, and again we're going 7.5 furlongs. That's that quirky distance on the inside turf course as well. Well, we have 43 seconds. I can either put it in the bank or we can keep talking about something else.
Put it in the bank, buddy.
Let's put it in the bank. And there's Don McRae. Hello, Don McRae.
Still waiting for that dinner.
Yeah, Donnie, buy some dinner. We want some dinner. All right, topic number 3. First leg. Pick 4.
Yeah. We thought we found our jam last week with pick 3s and rolling doubles.
I know, and then that fell apart.
Sunday happened.
So a couple of scratches, and we have a rider change with the 3. Bright Sunshine, make the rider now Fraser Abley. Anita Margarita at odds of 5 to 2. I'm going to go in the direction of Peggy, and now you've scratched onto Peggy, right?
I did. You know, like originally I was looking at Limoncello Spritz, and I was even toying with the idea of this 3-horse Bright Sunshine, only because Patrick was going to ride, and I thought, you know, maybe, you know, Patrick's been aboard this horse before and has done quite well, but now we get Fraser Abley, who's a great rider to pick up the call on this horse too. So should be a factor in this race, but this barn, the DePaulo barn, I think is gearing up for a really good weekend.
And what I think is going to help them is they've reclassified some horses, and they got into some easier spots. It worked out on the weekend, so I'm hoping it's going to work out yet again here with Peggy, who I think is so much better on turf than on the main track. So both you and I go in there. I'll back myself up with Anita Margarita. You're going to back yourself up with Benita Mundo.
Yeah, the Catherine Day Phillips horse.
Yeah.
And it's, again, this X factor for me. I think that, you know, Zero Ford has quickly turned himself into a rider that a lot of people want, right? You can remember right at the beginning when he first started riding here, there were some interesting experiences, right? And some moves that he made that were like, ooh, that's a bit of a risky move, and he kind of caught some people's eye. But he can really get a horse to run for him, and I think you got to leave. Like the fact that Catherine wants to, you know, use him on quite a few of her good horses is a big vote of confidence for me. So I'll go with the 7 and the 6, and then I'll toss in Anita Margarita, which I might need later.
Not a big Margarita guy.
No. Yeah, I can have one.
Are you a Jimmy Buffett fan? Margaritaville?
Who isn't? Are you a parrot head, Jeff?
I am not. I am not. You know who is?
Who?
Track announcer Dan Loisel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Robert Geller, because that would explain everything.
No. Track announcer Dan Loisel. I think he saw Jimmy Buffett in concert here once in Toronto.
He seems like a Jimmy Buffett type of guy.
7.5 furlongs for our feature here coming up in race number 6. Wyoming Bill. What has gotten on with this guy? He all of a sudden has just blossomed this season. He's always been a nicely bred horse. And he's from the same family as Tom's Magic. We're going to see him compete in the plates.
Isn't that exciting? Okay, like I said, we don't always show you guys replays of horses who won, but this trip was just so gorgeous, I thought it was worth showing again. Emma Wilson was piloting him back on June the 21st. And, you know, he was coming in off of a 92 by her speed figure, and a lot of, I think you and I and some other people were questioning that, like, how do you regress? You're probably likely going to regress off of a 92 by her speed figure. The horse comes up with an 80 when winning this race under a masterful ride, I think, by Emma Wilson. Now, we know Wilson's out. She's on the injured list for a while, so we'll get Jalen Samuel with a big call to ride this horse here today. I think this is the horse to beat, but then the other horse that bugs me a bit is Society's Thunder, because no matter what they do with Society's Thunder, the riders, the distances, the surfaces, doesn't matter. This horse tries every single time. To me, it's a pretty logical exactor 7-3.
Treasurer's got a pretty good 1-2 punch. He's got Ocean Atlantique, who's going to race here at Woodbine for the first time. He's got Ever Dangerous. And you know who is the most interesting horse in this race? Who? It's the number 8 Lost Ark. And I'm going to tell you a bit of a story in regards to Lost Ark.
Tell me about that.
So Lost Ark, I remember this name, right? And I Googled it the other day, because I'm like, I remember this name. They brought this horse to stand here in Ontario.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And for whatever reason, didn't cover any mares this season, so they brought the horse back into training, and that's why the horse is here.
Okay, because I wrote that down too. I wrote potential stallion. Yeah. That's what I wrote, because you know it looks like they bought him Northern Dawn. Of course, we know they have a big operation as well, a big breeding operation. So you know, probably likely trying to make some money with this one before he heads out.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the horse just didn't settle into breeding this season. Who knows what happened? But they're going to give it a go. Maybe they get a couple races into him and stand him next year.
Well, you might as well try and make some of your money back before you do that.
Absolutely. So that's why Lost Ark is there in action. You don't see too many horses like making that type of move, right? Seventh race will be at 6.5 furlongs. Once we get onto the turf, going 6.5 in here. I really like a horse in this race, but I've been burned by her so many times. Miramichi.
No, Jeff, we're not saying it right. We're just going to refer to it as the horse with the letter, the name that starts with the letter M.
Number 3. Now, I was talking with Amanda, and I said, Amanda, you're going to lose the mount on this horse. And I said, are you upset? She goes, well, no, yes and no. Like, obviously, I would have liked to ridden him, but Jodine, I guess, gallops for this barn a lot.
All right.
So he's going to pick up the mount here with this one. But a wide open race here coming up in race number 7.
Yeah. I went towards Sills Gamble for Josie Josie Carroll. This one interests me off of the win last start out against Maidens, but I thought maybe the 6 I got Murph could be a player for Tino Attard. This horse really hasn't done anything wrong. I mean, just the 2 starts, a third and the first lifetime start behind Sills Gamble, who will race in this spot today for Fraser Abley, and then Pietro on the 6 I got Murph. I did use the 4 Just Pray. We all know about this horse. She's been kind of a lunatic, I guess you could say, in the paddock and out on the racetrack. Quirky, okay. But then, you know, the first race left kind of just a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't play her at all. In fact, I was kind of harsh on her, I thought, when she raced last start out. You stuck with her one more time, and she ended up getting the win.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Now, this might be interesting, though. I don't think we've seen her at night yet.
Or on turf, but she's a half to rock press who takes place on the grass. So yeah, no, listen.
We just got to get her to the gate.
Yeah, and see what happens. See what happens.
Maybe she's learned something. Hey, you got to give all the credit to these guys. They did the work, and it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 wide. That is the topic for our next race. This is like Elisa going on the turn on the QEW. Tipping 5 wide. Here comes Elisa Blow. So are we in regards here to Radio Goo Goo?
We sure are.
Who was Radio Gaga?
Okay, I got a replay to show you from this one. So this is 7.5 furlongs on the inner turf course. This is the last start on June the 3rd, or July the 3rd. Can you believe tomorrow's August the 1st?
We're a month away. The CNE's opening soon.
I know, we're a month away from yearling sales stakes.
I gotta go to school in a month.
No comment. This is a big filly. Like, when you take a look at the replay, you'll see the size of her too. So, you know, she's a big girl. I find with some of these bigger horses, it takes them a little bit of time to get rolling. And she ends up with a nice closing effort here. She just got beat for the 2nd place spot. The winner was Design Diva. So we're on the grass. We're going 7.5. Today we're only asking her to go a little bit further, and I think it should work out for her here today, because she dropped down last start from the 40 in for the 25. And it's a great effort here. She just misses in a bob, unfortunately, for the 2nd place spot. And we get Sahin Savachi taking over the riding duties, which is interesting as well. So I'll use the 2 over the 4, Bertha. Bertha has that reference to Lupa. Yeah. Lupa's a really nice Josie Carroll horse, who we found out was a workmate to Blanco, another really nice Josie Carroll horse. And she'll be a 2nd-time Lasix user, but a big drop from Maiden Special in for $25,000.
I am going to pick a horse that you've been chasing for weeks, and that's Verena.
Yeah, I know.
You've been chasing your buddy Verena. You jump off. Jeff says, I will jump on. So let's see if Verena can get a little bit more racing luck. Because what happened there is this horse got pushed out in that first turn. Here's the birthday boy with Butterfly Billy. And Butterfly Billy is trained by Sylvain Pion.
Flying home,
Good run 2 starts ago. Last time out, not a bad rally either. And
Barn could use some luck.
Robert's got a shirt from New Mexico on there.
Run culture.
That is not in my culture.
But you know, I'll tell you what. We were talking to some people earlier on today that say, just, you know, no matter what Robert's age is, if it's over 55 or under 55, he's in great shape. All that running. He is a committed runner. One thing that he isn't. I'm a committed walker. I have to take the dog. You know, I keep telling you,
I'm not really
committed
to anything in my life, to be honest with you.
At least you're committed to showing up to work.
That's right. That's what I'm committed at, and I'm committed at bringing you the Clocker reports and plays of the day.
And plays of the day. Oh, jeez.
So you get to go first. Couple of sevens.
We talked about this Candace, right? Powered by Mischief, right? I mean, I think he made this horse a big price. I don't think he'll be a big price. Wyoming Bill and Rito. You saw the replays. It's all good. What do you got?
I got some that are the same, I think. My drop and pop is Peggy. Got Proud Mischief with you. I've got the number 3 in race 7.
The horse whose name starts with the letter M.
Yes. And then I'll wrap it up with my price play of Verena coming up in race number 8 on the day. Secret Threat, that is Ron Gierking's best bet. 5-2 right now on the board. Woodbine TV Prod. I don't know who was doing those picks on the weekend, but he picked nothing but winners.
And they paid.
They paid as well. Nash Yen is going to go postward to race number 2. And Doug's going towards the swayback coming up in race number 2. And gets a rider change, another race with Lasix, and you're going to get a price on that one coming up a little bit later on. We have 1 clock of horse free coming up in race number 3, and that's number 5, this being I'm Tenacious. I'm Tenacious is going to go postward for conditioner Mike Mattini. And we'll see how this one's able to handle the E.P. Taylor turf course. You know, all the racing this horse has been done on the big course, where the horse won. and on the Tbred, and I was going to give it a go on the inside turf.
He's got a lot of new horses in his barn too, Mike Mattini, so we'll be watching for those ones as well.
Yeah,
he was really busy claiming, I'd say about 3 weeks ago or so.
Going to make an equipment change as well as the blinkers come off. Obviously, the sale for the CTHS is coming up in the not too distant future. Kind of cool. Coming up on Saturday, we have the maiden races for horses that went through the CTHS.
That. Yeah. 2-year-old races, one for the girls, one for the boys. You have to have gone through the ring at the CTHS sale, and they both go for a purse of $75,000. Good money.
And here's a look at some that will be racing today that have siblings coming up on the catalog page coming up in the not too distant future, and we've got Princess Rosina, we've got Tbred as well. Serve the King, that's a horse that's standing with Santino's family, and then we've got Adorable Angel. Yep, and this one's a half to Mohamed. So only 4 that will be going through the sale, but a lot more on those horses coming up later on this week as well, because
there'll be a lot of them.
A lot of them coming up this week for sure. Especially though, I imagine those maiden races.
Well, that Junior Hotshot brother is with John Mattini. I want to say.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
And it has a funny name too, like not Godzilla, but it's something close to that, right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right, 20 minutes away from the opener here at Woodbine. We'll get you all set for race 1 with some paddock coverage coming up next.